The town of Dry Pine Ridge was a quiet place, surrounded by snow-capped peaks and whispering pine trees. But peace shattered one cold morning when a gang of mountain thieves raided the town's storehouses. They took food, ammunition, and medicine, supplies meant to last the harsh winter. 16-year-old June Cassidy stood beside the wrecked storeroom, fists clenched. Sheriff Baxter called it a lost cause. "They're long gone into the high trails. No one can track in this weather," he said, turning away. But June wouldn't listen. Raised by her late aunt, a legendary mountain ranger, June knew the land better than anyone. She marched to her family barn, saddled up her stubborn horse Boulder, and strapped her aunt's old rifle across her back. Wearing a leather cowboy hat too big for her head and a belt heavy with bullets, she whispered, "If no one else will do it, I will." High trails was treacherous. Snow bit at her cheeks. The wind howled like wolves. Boulder slipped more than once, but June pressed on, guided by broken branches, faint hoof prints, and instinct. At dusk, she found the first sign, a spent bullet casing and a scrap of torn cloth snagged on a pine branch. She was on the right trail. Later that night, she camped beneath a rocky overhang, warming herself with jerky and coffee. She whispered to Boulder, "They think no one's coming. That's their mistake." 3 days into the mountains, June spotted smoke. She crept toward it, crawling across a snowy ridge, and saw the camp. For men laughing, feasting on stolen food, rifles resting on crates marked with the Dry Pine Ridge stamp. She waited until nightfall. Then, quietly, she descended, leading Boulder through the dark. One thief went to relieve himself, and June struck, knocking him out cold with the butt of her rifle. But the others heard the noise. Gunfire lit up the dark trees. June dove behind a boulder. Bullets chipped stone near her head. Gritting her teeth, she remembered her aunt's words. "Don't rush. Let your heart settle, then squeeze." She took aim and shot out their lantern. Darkness swallowed the camp. One man yelled. Another ran. In the confusion, Boulder charged in with a fierce neigh. June stood tall, rifle in hand, and shouted, "Drop your weapons. Now." To her surprise, they did. By dawn, June had tied the 3 conscious men to their own horses and was dragging them down the trail with the stolen supplies. The unconscious one, she left safely tied with a note for the next rider. As they entered town, people stared. Sheriff Baxter stepped out, stunned. "Well, LB, you actually did it." June swung off Boulder, tired but proud. "Told you they weren't gone too far." An old man clapped slowly. Others joined. The townspeople cheered, not just for the return of their goods, but for the rise of a new kind of law in the mountains. A week later, the townsfolk repaired the storehouse. June walked past, head held high, her aunt's badge now pinned to her vest. She had earned it, not just with bullets, but with courage, patience, and grit. And when new riders came through town asking who ran things in Dry Pine Ridge, the answer was always the same. That'd be June Cassidy, the girl who rides high trails alone and brings justice home.